Disclaimer: I'm just a 19-year-old kid who's gonna ramble on about philosophy like I have it all figured out, which more than likely is not the case, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, and please enjoy the video. So, what is life? For me, life is an utopia, which means it's perfect. And I'll be explaining my philosophy in this video and what makes life so great in my opinion. So, I'll start with asking what is the point of life? For religious people, it's of course afterlife, but for you not religious people, it's nihilism, which means that there is no point in life. But that is pretty damn depressing. So, like, if you think about it, like, what's the point of doing anything in life if nothing has any point, right? That's pretty depressing, right? But I think that's actually pretty beautiful because if there's not a concrete like rule to do something, you can make up your own things to do in life. So many possibilities. And that brings me to the first topic of the video. Naturally, by default, humans have like two main things that they want from life, and those are reproduction and happiness. And often those two goals go hand in hand, but not always. And there are other goals like safety, but that is just for the other things to come out or like be more stable, and also passing on memes. But I'm not gonna talk about memes in this video, and I'm not gonna talk about reproduction in this video. Those will be topics for other videos. But in this video, I'm just gonna be talking about happiness. In a nihilistic mindset, there's no point of being happiness, right? Because nothing has a point. But like the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, nihilism is like a disease. And just like any other disease, we gotta get a cure for ourselves, like get better from it, right? I don't know what the fuck the word is. But the point is, why would we do that? My answer to that is because that is way more exciting than not to do it. For me, life is excitement and death is boredom. Okay. And it actually wasn't any philosopher that made me think this way. The guy who actually made me think this way was Tyrion Lannister from the HBO's Game of Thrones series based on George R. Martin's book series, The Song of Ice and Fire, where Tyrion Lannister says,
Death is so final, whereas life is full of possibilities.
Tyrion actually says that multiple times throughout the show, even. And the other guy who says something similar is Makishima Shoko from Psycho Pass, which is my favorite anime. And Makishima says, quote, I love this game that people call life from the bottom of my heart, end quote. So back to Nietzsche. He proposed the idea of the Übermensch, also known as Superman, which I'll simplify here and just say it's that you are just going to try to be the best version of yourself. Now, some might think, why should this be the main goal in my life, or like goal in my life? Why wouldn't I like just try to get children or do something big that leaves mark in history, or just like if I believe in afterlife, do something great in afterlife? And the point is, if you try to be the best version of yourself, it's gonna help you do those other things better too. So your main goal, or at least with the main goal, should be that you try to better yourself. But either way, whatever you do, the point what you're trying to do is become happier. And that brings me to my next point, which is so what makes people happy? A lot of things like sex, alcohol, sports, hentai, hamburgers, right? Many things. But there are two different types of happinesses: hedonic and eudaimonic. Okay, I butchered both of those pronunciations. I write them on the screen so you know what the fuck I mean. Anyway, moving on. Hedonic happiness could also be called pleasure, and is the one people usually think when they think about happiness. All the high highs you get from doing something great, like watching porn or doing drugs, as an extreme example. but also like eating some good food. At, those are pleasures, right? That come, they don't last long, but they're super high. You have super much fun, a lot of fun, super much fun. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but they're short bursts, and because they're short bursts and so high, when you go back to low, you get used to the high. Now you want it back, and like that's the addicting happiness, and you will never get that all the time, only as spikes. Eudaimonic happiness, on the other hand, could be called purpose. This is the long term happiness that you get from things like mastery, meaningful relationships, and long term goals. And the thing is, many psychologists agree that people need both of these happinesses. So it's okay to have both, but you gotta, like, don't overdo it with one. The point I'm trying to make here is that people gotta realize that pleasure is not the only form of happiness, and not even the better one, okay? It's highly addictive, and it's just not the more satisfying one. So I encourage people to try to engage in more of the eudaimonic happiness. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you get the long term happiness, like to try master things, make some big projects, and most importantly, try to be the best version of yourself. Like Socrates said, quote, "We cannot live better than in seeking to become better." End quote. To live better, we gotta learn about ourselves. Seek knowledge, for knowledge is what will help you understand life and live it better. But do not only try to learn about yourself, but your surroundings and others too. Like Sun Tzu said, quote, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle." End quote. Even though it's from the book Art of War, which is about warfare, probably everyone knows it, it is even more prevalent in our everyday lives than in just warfare. Like Askeladd from Vinland Saga said, quote, "Everyone is a slave to something," end quote, which basically means that everyone has some goal in life that they think will bring them happiness. And if you try to think about other people, try to realize what is that what they want. Maybe you can help them. Maybe you can help them understand that that won't maybe bring them happiness. Maybe you have aligning goals. You can help each other out. Just try to understand other people too. That will help you. But don't only focus on your mind. Remember to also take care of your body. Another quote from Socrates. Quote, "No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable." End quote. Like there's not nothing so philosophical about that, but the thing that is just a beautiful quote. Like everyone should be working out. Like Joe Rogan also said this shit. Like everyone should be working out. Just makes you feel better, and it's only good things come out of it. You know. So go to the gym right now, or just take a walk. Do something to get better if you're not already doing something. As long as you take care of your body, your mind will be at peace, and if you take care of your mind, your body will be at peace. So, like this said, quote, "We're all going to make it, brah," end quote. So, next topic is pain. There would be no yin without the yang, there would not be light without L, and there would not be happiness without pain. And I have found that there's three different ways to combat this, but I only recommend two of those. The first one is Buddhist way. Even though Buddhism is a religion, you can still learn from it. So there's this concept about the Four Noble Truths, and that is the essence of Buddha's teachings. And the first truth is that there will be suffering. And the second truth is that the root of all suffering is attachment. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not good enough or understand enough to explain the other two rules, so you can just Google them if you want. But the point is, the second rule is enough, the two first ones. So if you want to not feel suffer, if you don't want to suffer anymore, just let go of all attachments, just like Zahir did in Legend of Korra. Now, if you don't want to do that, or aren't just ready to do that yet, the second option is Stoicism, which is basically that you accept all the hardship in life. Don't start mourning when hardship comes, but embrace it and face it. It is you who chose this life of attachment, so it is you who will see it through. No matter the obstacle in life, you'll face it and you'll always survive as long as it doesn't like physically kill you. Like no shit, that's obvious, but like the point is that you gotta just keep moving. The battle of suffering will never be over this way, but you are going to win it every time. Good example of someone who just keeps going through the suffering is Guts from Berserk. The third option, which I absolutely don't recommend, is that you become a monster. Monster in a sense that you do anything for your goal and don't care about anything else. You don't even care about morals, which just like takes you just do anything for the goals and fuck the morals, which makes you a monster. But this way of life is super destructive and will limit your human connections and will likely come bite you in the ass in the end. So it's basically Thorfinn in season one of Finland Saga. The anime Dororo is a great exploration of all these three ways of life. I absolutely recommend it. It's one of my favorites. So, to conclude, suffering is everywhere. Life is full of it, except when you go the Buddha way. But I think that's the beauty of life. The struggle is what makes life entertaining, and entertainment is the best thing in life. We don't want that boring life. If you were happy all the time in the pleasure way, we just get used to it. Then we need bigger highs, and we get depressed if we don't get them, or we overdose. And I don't know what happens when you overdose on happiness. Who knows? But I guess we can still try to get more of the long term happiness, but we'll still face suffering because we seek for that pleasure. We are attached to the happiness. But I think we should be all be more optimistic. Try seeing the good in everything. Even when something horrible happens, try see that one good thing. Like when shit happens, usually you learn from it. So the learning experience makes you better. And as we talked before, Ubermensch, be the better version of yourself. It all comes around. It's like the snake biting its ass, the Ouroboros cycle. We all know that also that comic where the guy's bike is stolen and it's like, oh, but I guess the one who stole it is happier now. That is kind of dumb. That is absolutely 100% cope, but there's still like something to learn from it. Think always about the positive things, and your life will be more positive. Don't think that negative. That will uh, poison your mind. Now, in this game of life, to have the happiest playthrough, embrace the suffering. Find joy in everything. Take care of your body and health. Have meaningful relationships. Seek to be the better version of yourself and learn to understand yourself, others, and the universe around you. Thank you for listening and watching. these are just going to be my final thoughts. The video is technically over. I'm just gonna ramble on about stuff. The main point I made this video was because I had just some gameplay footage lying around and I wanted to do something with it. So I decided to do a video something I'm passionate about, which is philosophy. But don't take it. Remember, yeah, I'm now fucking around. I'm not even reading script anymore, but I'm just a 90-year-old kid doing something for fun. So if I did something wrong, said something dumb, just point it out. Please no hate. It's just for fun. The video is kind of longish already. I'm going to talk about other topics I want to talk about later. You can give me tips how to make better videos. Say if there was something hypocritical I said, or just start talking about something. In something, what you think about life? What makes you happy? Let's do that. Everyone, tell in the comments what makes you happy. And thank you for watching. Please, please. I hope this made someone's day better. Thank you. Goodbye.
Mitä vittua?
Mitä?